What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 208 day 2 days in a row, Justin. We're locking it in. No chase or chance tonight, but plenty to talk about. We want to make sure we get you our starts and sits. So buckle in, smash the like button, subscribe, and let's get this thing going. What do you say? Let's do it live right now. Oh, good evening, Justin. It's a long day today. It's good football injuries to talk about, high school coaching stuff we're doing, and just having a good time talking about fantasy football. We hit the waiver wire last night, right? A lot of waiver wire stuff went cruising last night. Hopefully you got some of the guys we recommended. I was able to get Isaiah Likely in one of my leagues. I was shocked because I was like 6 or something like that in the waiver order. But
what?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, wow, I'll take it. So maybe it's a garage league. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't able to secure anybody else. I certainly had Jalen Wright, which we're going to talk about today. He was already on my roster, so cross my fingers there.
Very nice. My waiver wire. I just want to update the audience on that Guillotine League and kind of get Matt to guess some of the bids. So it went a little crazy. So Justin Jefferson, Matt, you give me the number. 1,005 here. They can use.
Man, 500? Did it hammer that hard? Did it go 500?
650.
Ooh, right out of the gate.
Kyler Murray went for 279. Alexander Madison went for 156. Alan Lazard went for 101. Dallas Goedert went for 80. Drake London went for 75. Christian Watson went for 25. Tyler Johnson went for 21. And I got a bid. I won a guy. I got Javonte Williams for $10.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that bid.
So. I think that's a good one to have. That's a great price for Javonte.
Yep.
Man, let's get right into our news, Justin. We have a little bit to talk about. There's not a ton, but with a lot of injuries and stuff, and so let's jump into some news.
What's going on?
Man, what you got for news for us today?
So just a report on Twitter, like you guys all know that I love to be on Twitter, is Jamar Chase actually got offered a deal. I don't know if it was before week 1 or this week, but it was $140 million over 4 years. So $35 million a year. I'm pretty sure that's what JJ got. So apparently he turned that down, which is super interesting. Hopefully he picks it up a little bit. Hopefully the Bengals can kind of bounce back. Joe Burrow's dealing with something with his wrist again, which scares the crap out of me. Hopefully they can fix it, but they're playing against a tough defense in KC. So that'll be interesting. Puka, Sean McVay coming out saying he might be longer than 4 weeks than just the regular IR, which is really depressing. But, I mean, if you're a Cooper Kupp owner, man, you got to love that. Like, he should be a target hog like he has been the past few years, but I mean, those are the two biggest things. I know Matt's got a few things.
Yeah, so it's worth bringing up McCaffrey, right, who has been injured, is now maybe 50-50 he'll play. I don't think he'll play with Mason doing as well as he did. I think he'll sit. But I am very concerned for McCaffrey in the long run. Each their own on this. I don't think he finishes as RB1 this year. If you can get somebody for him later, if you didn't pick up Mason, right? If you didn't get that backup, so hopefully he pops off and you can maybe for a couple weeks and trade him. But keep that in mind. But I'm pretty sure he will not play this week. Other one, Jordan Love news. Interesting. He's not been placed on IR at all or the PUP, and he may be back in 3 weeks. So
Crazy.
that's crazy. So we're hopeful because that has a huge impact on those wide receivers. So I think that is our news for now. But man, let's jump right into our meat and potatoes, which is our sits and starts for week 2. Hey, we did pretty good last week, Justin. We did pretty good. We'll talk about that in just a second. Here we go. Sit starts week 2. So let's jump into it. We were probably, after we reviewed it yesterday, we were probably 60%, which is pretty good. 65% on what we projected.
He's past it, baby.
And that's week 1. We can't, it's week 1. Be patient. there are opportunities for trades out there, but for me, I tend to hold a little bit. So let's jump right into it. Our starts. So we're starting them on quarterbacks. My first guy, Jaden Daniels, rolling out there against this New York defense that is awful. The New York the whole entire team's awful. So I think he's going to have another good year or another good game. He probably be a top. He could be a top 10 quarterback here easily if he is one of your starters or you think you need him. Put him in. I think he scores a lot, and hopefully he pushes the ball downfield a little bit more than what we saw last week. More air yards because he had a lot of rushing yards last week. But I like Jaden Daniels. Get him in your lineup.
Yep, love it. So I went with my guy Justin Herbert. I mean, it's super cool to watch the Chargers just run the crap out of the ball, and like John Harbaugh's a guy. Like we just gotta remember that. Like he's really good at coaching. Like they're playing they're playing the Panthers, and we also what happened with the Panthers last week. So I that's what I'm gonna do. Like we're week 2. It's gonna be crazy. We don't know what's gonna happen defensive wise, but the Panthers defense looked bad, and they lost their best defensive player, Derek Brown, who is their middle of their guy, probably a top 5 defensive tackle, nose tackle, very good player out of Auburn. But they lost him. I mean, Derek Carr went 19 of 23 and he only threw for 200 touchdowns, but 200 yards, but he threw 3 touchdowns against this team. So I think Justin Herbert's is worlds better than Derek Carr. So I think Herbert's going to have a good day. I think this offense is going to eat on that day. So.
Top 12, top 15. Where do you think he'll rank at the end of the day?
I'm gonna go bold. He's top 8. I think he finishes easy. He's a top 8 guy. I think hopefully they start doing a little bit of design runs with him, which I would love to see. He played decently well. I mean, I'm in on the Chargers. Like they're gonna be fun to watch. Like that's just how I feel about it. So
fair enough. So Matt Stafford is my third one, I guess we should say number 3 on here against the Cardinals. That Cardinals defense is not good. It's going to be a shootout. Stafford lost a couple of O-linemen, which was probably considered preseason was probably the best O-line. It was up there, right? Probably top 3 easy, but they're a little injured. So we know Matt Stafford has dealt with O-line issues for years and years and years. Everything is going to fall on his shoulders. They won't be able to run the balls effectively, although we still like Kyron. He'll get his, but Puka's out, so it is going to be Cooper Kupp and then probably Robinson, and we'll talk about another guy that we really like a little bit later. But I'm 100%. I think Stafford could be a top 12 guy, easy, maybe even top 10. If you had the opportunity to plug him in, do so. He's going to get points this game for sure. So moving on to QB sits. These are guys we don't like. Probably should stay away from these guys. And if you can see the list, the second one might surprise you. But let me start up with Deshaun Watson. I don't think I have to say a whole lot. He's terrible. He's horrible. I think on the show, everybody in the entire show, we are not fans of Deshaun Watson. We just don't think he's not it. That was probably the worst trade, the worst contract in NFL history for the Browns to bring him in. He just doesn't look comfortable out there at all in this offense. Keep him on your bench. If you do have him, you hope that he pops off and we can make a trade later. So just keep that in mind. I'm not a fan of Deshaun Watson. Just anything to add to that Deshaun Watson.
You guys all know how I feel about Deshaun Watson. Like, I think he's gonna get benched. I don't think it's gonna work out. So I would not start him the rest of the year. If he's your starting quarterback, man, you might have to string quarterbacks the rest of the year.
Yeah. And I know he played a Dallas team. He threw, he had 45 attempts, only 169 yards, 2 INTs. And that Dallas defense is good, but even against Jacksonville, it was not a bad defense. I'm steering clear. But moving on to Stroud, Justin, this is your guy. Kind of interesting. I think a lot of people will disagree with you here. Why Stroud's against my Bears defense? What's your thoughts here?
When I'm just looking through this stuff, like I want to be bold. Like that's the thing. Like if you have Stroud, you're probably going to play him. Again, maybe temper your expectations. Like this is not to kiss Matt's butt or anything, or to like, hey, this team is this and that. Like this Bears defense is so underrated. They are so good. They have a dude at each level. Like you have to understand that. So they have Montez Sweat, and the Booker kid is good. That rookie, he's gonna be a stud. Eberflus is a defensive coordinator by by trade. Like that's what he came over as. They have Tremaine Edwards, who's a dog. TJ Edwards is a dog, and Jalen Johnson. Holy crap, that guy is a dude. Like they had 3 sacks. Like they had no business winning that game against the Titans. Like let's all be perfectly clear. Like they had no business. They were getting killed. Jalen Johnson gets a pick. Then they get a I don't know what Will Levis was doing. He just threw a weird ball.
Yep.
The Titans were 3 of 14 on offense on third down, which is nuts. They ran 61 plays. They had 3 sacks. They punted the ball 6 times. They fumbled it. They had 2 interceptions. Like this defense is legit, and I think they can match up decently well with the Texans. I think this game's gonna be really fun to watch.
I agree. I told you go back and watch. I said that Bears defense, watch out. They're better than what they let on. I showed it last week. It'll be interesting to see how they played this high-powered offense if they try to get after Stroud. But yeah, I think so as well. Temper your expectations. You're going to roll him out there. He's probably a B- grade for starting this week, but just temper your expectations. Which leaves us into the very next guy, Caleb Williams. I'm still a truther, but I think you just gotta hold. They didn't look very good on offense at all. They just sputtered, and now they lost Odunze. Allen is old. So DJ Moore might spark it. Maybe we see a little bit more Cole Kmet. Maybe we see a little bit more Swift out of the backfield and throwing. But I would rather just hold. I think this one's a pretty easy one to talk about. But we just hold and kick back and relax. So
he had a bad game. 93 yards, 14 to 29. This defense is real with the Texans as well. I mean, I think a lot of people want a shootout. That's what people pay for, But this might be a Steelers Falcons game where it's like 18 to 10, 15, 14 to 10.
Yeah.
Like it might be low scoring. These defenses are legit. And I think it's going to take Matt said it yesterday where it might take 4 weeks for us to get some real offense.
Yeah, for sure. Just giving a quick shout out to our people watching, Peterson and Cat for Life watching. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, hopefully you guys, we're curious how you guys did on your show or on your first week, but for sure, let us know how you did. We're just laying out what's going on in week 2. So Cat for Life's got a question here. I think this is a good spot. Let's answer it. Let's do it right now. Let's do it live. 14 team PPR. Allen, Jacobs, A-Chain, Rice, Pittman, McBride. Need a flex option. Do I do Shakir, Coleman, Benson, Bigsby, Parkinson, Dolch, Jeff Wilson? Do I go after Zeke, Moss, or Zamir White? Lot to unpack here.
So let's do the flex option first, Matt.
I agreed.
So Shakir is an interesting one. Who are the Bills playing, Matt? Can you look that up for me? I'm guessing that is Keon Coleman. Trey Benson do not play. Parkinson, you have McBride. I don't believe in playing flexes at tight ends. Dortch is interesting. Kyler didn't look super good. Jeff Wilson is super interesting option for me because I don't know if Devon Achane and I know Moster isn't playing. Jeff Wilson would be a super I think he could be a dude. Like the Dolphins are going to stick running the ball, so that'll be an interesting one. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah. So the Bills are playing Miami. My first look at this for sure because I don't know how Miami's gonna function that with Wilson and if A-Chain does play, and we're gonna talk about Wilson or another running back here in a minute. But I'm kind of leaning Shakir or Coleman in that flex spot with the upside. I think that's okay. As far as going after that second spot there, do you go after Zeke, Moss, or White? Probably not with what your team is. I'd probably be okay, but just leaving what you got. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, Coleman did play really well. I think he'll get back up to his targets. It was a weird game. Josh Allen, offense was just super slow. Again, I don't think Shakir's ever going to be the one. It just feels like he always finds the end zone for some odd reason. Like he's just been good at that and just finding the end zone. But Coleman's not a bad one. The Dolphins defense is decent with Jalen Ramsey. Keon had 5 targets and he had 4 catches. So I mean, not terrible. Snap percentage was 73%. Not crazy. I mean, this might turn into a shootout. The Bills defense isn't great, so I think one of those 3 is good. So.
Yep, I agree. I think just pick the one you like the most there and run with it. He did also ask, do I pick up Jacobs back up for, and drop Parkinson? Not right now. No, stick with Parkinson to see what he is because he may have some trade value, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. Moving on. All right, it's running backs. This is what we just talked about. So first one out of the gate, Ezekiel Elliott. I know it's kind of like, really? You would start him? Look, if he is like if you're in a league that's deeper at running back or he's just all you got, he's kind of the number one for a really good offense. He's going to get all the goal line work, and they're going to be able to move the ball. Don't be surprised if he gets a couple touchdowns against the Saints. The Saints defense is good. It really is. But I think that Dallas Cowboy offense is even better. The Saints aren't going to be able to do what they did to the Panthers last week. That's not going to happen. So keep in mind, I think if you have him and you need to roll him out, just roll with it. I think you're okay. Thoughts on that, Justin? Yay, nay for you?
Yeah, I think the Dallas backfield's just going to be so
we need some
wishy-washy. It'll be interesting to see what happens, who they try to rely on, whether it's Rico or Zeke. That's a tough one. Like, I don't love Zeke this week. The Saints defense is legit. Demario Davis is a dude, so we'll kind of see what happens.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. Jalen Wright, we both like. I'm going to let you take over the Jalen Wright talk because there is some interesting stuff happening in Miami that I'm all about.
So it seems like it's trending that Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert won't play. It's a Thursday night game, so remember that. So this is super risky. Like, make sure you get the injury report right before the game goes, because if they both play, I don't know if you start him, but they're both out. You got to play him. It's either going to be him or Jeff Wilson. Mike McDaniels likes to use two backs, so he's going to get some work. He's the more explosive guy out of him and Jeff Wilson. But, man, if he gets the lead role in this game, he's going to smash.
I agree. I think even if you don't play him, I hope you went and rostered him. 21 years old. He did really, really well in preseason when he had looks. So go get him if you don't have him. I like him a ton. There is part of me that wants to trade Achane for some different capital and just have Jalen Wright as a potential upside player. I'm telling you, Jalen Wright could be a league winner. I'm not saying he will be, but go get him and put him in your back pocket. Yeah. Jerome Ford is another guy we both like. You got to get Ford out there in this not very good offense. We know we just said we're not starting Watson, but we're okay with Ford. Start Ford for sure.
For sure. He's an easy one. They're gonna have to rely on him with Watson. I think the thing that helped him last week was his receiving work. 7 targets, 6 receptions, huge.
Yep, for sure. Running backs were sitting. Don't start any Bengals running backs right now. That offense looks atrocious right now. I know Zach Moss is kind of leading it. Brown, I think, is the better running back. He's just going to need time if they'll move that forward. So just be mindful. This week against that KC defense, don't start it. Do not start him. Find somebody else, go a different route. Justin, you got Walker. Why are you not starting Walker against this Patriots defense? Interesting.
I'm a pretty big believer in this Patriots defense right now, but Ken Walker is on the injury report, so it scares me a little bit. Maybe they see what Charbonnet is. Ken Walker had a really good game. 20 attempts, 103 yards, 3 targets, 2 catches. Yeah. Finished as the running back 7. Super good game. I'm not out on Walker as a season, but this is a tough matchup for the Seahawks. They didn't look super great. Again, they played against Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback going week 1. This Patriots defense is legit.
Yep, they surprised a lot of people week 1 for sure. Very, very much so. If Walker is out, doesn't play, I think it's okay to start Sharp. They're going to see what he can do as well. So, yeah. Rachaad White against this Lions defense, I'm just out on, and it's more about the Lions defense than it is Rachaad White. They are like number 1 in the rushing category, right? Rushing defense category. So I'm out on White. If I have to, I'll play him, but I would rather find my running back points elsewhere. Moving on for running or wide receivers, Jameson Williams.
Ooh, your guy.
I like him. We've kind of waited and waited and waited. He has an opportunity right now. Man, plug him in against. I think this will be Might be kind of a shootout. Who knows? But I think they're not going to ignore Jamison Williams. All the attention will go to St. Brown, but this makes this offense just that much more difficult. So as a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, I'm all in on Jamison Williams.
Sure.
Justin, you wanted to talk about Ladd and Palmer against this Panthers defense.
I don't know which one it's gonna be. One of these guys is gonna pop off. Like, I can see a top 12 finish. Like, somebody's gonna go crazy this week in this game. They have to, like, again, watching that Panthers team, like, that was not good. Like, that was a bad situation. Like, that's why
their cheeks
Justin
for
Herbert,
sure.
That's why Justin Herbert is my star of the week. And again, they lost their best defensive player. Defensive lineman should allow for Justin Herbert to sling the ball around. Okay, their corner is J.C. Horn, who I thought was going to be a guy. Derek Carr had 3 touchdowns on him. J.C. Horn should be so much better than that. Like, there's no reason for him to be doing that. Their second corner is, where is he at? Michael Jackson? No idea. So I just don't know if that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, and like we said, the Panthers, I actually missed on the Panthers. I thought they would be much better this year. I thought there was some opportunity, and they almost look worse. So I know it's week 1. We'll see. So I mean, it's like anytime you're playing the Panthers, get all your defensive guys in, get all your offensive guys in against that team because they're rough. Wilson, he's due for a bounce back. It's coming. He got a lot of targets, just didn't get a lot of catches. You're plugging him in there. Do not worry about Wilson. Don't trade Wilson. Just get him out there and play him for sure. Guys that were sitting for me, and we just kind of talked about it, but I'm sitting all the Packers wide receivers. Without Jordan Love, it hurts them horribly bad. So if I can, I'm sitting all of them. I understand if you need to start Reed, but the rest of them, put them on the bench and find elsewhere.
Yeah. I totally get that. Again, I just think DK's got a rough stretch in for a minute. I think they're gonna put Christian Gonzalez on him, who just played against Jamar Chase, who I think is a better receiver than DK. Just temper your expectations. I think this is just gonna be bully ball. I think this is a very low scoring game. I think week 1 is kind of a repeat of week 2. People are still trying to figure it out. DK had a rough game. I think Christian Gonzalez is gonna give him some fits this week.
Yep, agreed. And I think JSN might be an interesting play here over DK, but we'll see. Lockett had quite a few targets and yards last week too, but I can see DK holding off. Devontae Adams, I think we're both fading against this Ravens defense. It's tough. That offense looks horribly bad. If you've drafted him, you got to play him. Just for me, he's one of those guys you hope he pops off and maybe you can trade his name. I'm off on Devontae Adams this year in general. I don't want to play him if I can help it.
Yeah, that Ravens defense is good. The one thing where we have this sit him, and it'll be on the next when we get to tight ends, is who do the Ravens choose to take away? Do they try to take away Devontae, or do they try to take away the guy that had a really good game last week? He looks really good as a rookie. So we'll see what happens with that game.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to tight end. Here we go. These guys, I had Kincaid. Don't panic on Kincaid. We talked about it. He's fine. Justin alluded to it last night. Like, look, they were like quadruple covering him, triple covering him.
It's crazy.
They can't do that, especially if Keon Coleman or Shakir is going to get open too. He will open up. He's still my tight end number 1 moving forward. The guy we alluded to before the show, and Justin, this is your guy, Parkinson. You like him.
He was my sleeper in our tight end episode. Again, they paid him money. Like, let's follow the money trail. Okay. Again, I hate that Puka got hurt because I love Puka as a player, but they're gonna throw the ball. And whether it's quick stuff, I think most of it's gonna have to be quick with Cooper running stuff in the intermediate. Same with Parkinson. Their O-line has got it felt like 8 Rams player out for the season. It just feels like they got eviscerated, which is crazy. That's the Lions defense for you. Like, they are mean. Like, they are a very good defense. Bite your kneecaps off. Like, some of those guys are missing kneecaps, so they can't play football anymore. So
yeah, for sure.
I think Parkinson's going to be a big part of this offense. Matt Stafford loves the intermediate stuff. Him and Cooper probably eat a little bit. It'll be interesting to see who that second wide receiver is if they step up, or they just go straight to Parkinson. Like it's been Tyler Johnson, I've heard Tutu Atwell, just a bunch of different guys. So I think they want to involve Parkinson into this offense.
They did pay him. And it's Stafford's not. It's not unrealistic for him that he's definitely used a tight end before. So Parkinson's got top 10 upside this week, so we'll see. But yeah, don't be afraid. This is probably, I said this earlier, it's probably a shootout with the Cardinals, and we'll kind of see where it goes. Trey McBride's the other one. That, again, the air playing each other. Trey McBride, he will get his for sure. We definitely left him over the middle. He's a potential tight end one. He's an easy plug and play for sure. Don't worry about McBride. Get him in there.
I really want to see this Cardinals offense blow up. Like they have no excuses not to be great. It's just like the Falcons, like the Jets, like they should be great offenses. So.
Yep. Give them a little time here. Hopefully week 2 is better. Guys were sitting. Look, Kelsey was my guy. I just don't want any part of Kelsey. They have too many other weapons. The old adage, we're going to save him for later season. That doesn't help me for my fantasy league now, right? I'm not interested in Kelsey. That's why I didn't draft him. Send him away. I put a whole deal early on. I'm staying away from Kelsey. I didn't want any part of him. And it wasn't so much about his age, although it was a factor. It was about the weapons that they brought in around him. Like they were going to really spread the ball out, and we already saw that with Rice and Xavier Worthy, and gosh, we haven't even seen Hollywood Brown yet. So it's just stay away, and he's probably not going to be. He's going to be on my sit-em list a lot this year. So
yeah. So to talk about Bowers, it's going to be regurgitation of what I said last week. Brock Bowers is playing against the Ravens. Roquan Smith had his worst game of his career. I think he was graded at 23. It was the worst game he's ever played. They manned him up a lot on Rashid Rice, which I don't love. Like, he was just getting killed on slants. So I don't know what they're going to do with it. If they try to bracket Bowers, they try to give inside help to whoever's on Devontae Adams. Again, the Ravens have one of the best safeties in the league, Kyle Hamilton. Okay, I didn't really get to watch a ton of the All-22 with him going against Travis Kelce in that game. But again, Travis Kelce was super quiet. It seems like they have an eraser. I think it's Kyle Hamilton at tight end. Okay, I don't know what they're going to do with Roquan. Maybe they switch it up. Maybe they put Kyle Hamilton over the top of Devontae. But I don't think Brock Bowers is going to be great here. This defense is really good. I don't think the Raiders' offense is that great.
Yeah, this is probably a 1 thing for me, or 1 week for me with Bowers, but it's the Baltimore defense. They got too many pieces to match up with him wherever, right? And one of the things I think we noticed was Bowers can line up just about anywhere, but that Ravens defense is super. It's super good. They didn't maybe show it too much against KC, but they are good. And this Raiders defense, our offense is not good. But moving on to Kyle Pitts, this one was kind of a toss-up. We weren't sure, but I think we're just we didn't like what we saw with Pitts last week. And Philly's defense is better than it was last year with their improved secondary. And Kirk Cousins didn't look good. So this is kind of a multitude of things. The reason why we put him on this list, I'm just not sure. I think it's safer. You're probably rolling him out there again. He did finish 6, but I think he's going to get past. He may fall the top 15, top 12 for sure this week. We might get this one wrong, but I think if you have somebody else, I think it's better to just park him on the bench at this point if you can. Otherwise, if you draft him high capital, you're putting him on. You got to play him.
So with Pitts, like the Eagles linebackers are probably their worst unit in their whole defense. The biggest thing that I need to see from the Falcons is play action. We just didn't run it. Like there was a play that I saw in all 22. We're running stretch, obviously a run, but TJ Watt abandons backside, completely abandons it because he has no threat of play action. If we open up play action just a little bit, that will open up a lot more things in the offense. Again, even in these next 3 games, like take it with a grain of salt. Again, I am a little hesitant on Kyle Pitts. Like we have to play the Eagles, who are known for their defense. I don't think it's as good as everybody thinks. I think we're going to run the ball pretty well on them. the Kansas City Chiefs, no slouches on defense, Super Bowl defense, whatever you want to call it. Then we got to play New Orleans. Again, New Orleans will get more information this week about what they truly are, instead of playing against maybe a minor league team in the Panthers.
Yep, for sure. That's our start sits, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. But I do want to answer some of these questions that, and this is what we love doing more than anything else, is just answering questions where we can. So Cap for Life had thoughts on Sutton. And that's a really, really good question, Justin. I don't know if you want to tackle that one or you want me to tackle it. What do you want to do here?
So with Sutton, I think we talked about it yesterday. Me and Chance were talking about it because Chance is a Broncos fan, and he was asking me, should I drop Sutton for this? And I was like, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. Like, I think it's going to work out between him and Bo Nix. Bo Nix has got to find somebody. And anytime you could have a number one in an offense, you have to keep them on your roster. Like, it'll be like, again, these first 4 weeks are just, it's such a wash. Like, the more and more information we get, the more and more better decisions we'll be able to make. I think by week 4 we'll be more on top of things. But like, man, not having a preseason really has been really tough. Bo Nix played in the preseason. I think he'll step it up. They threw the ball a ton. I think Sutton will have a bounce back.
Agreed. And I think a lot of it has to do with like why we question him. He had 12 targets, 4 receptions for 38 yards. But you have to look at the target share. He had 12 targets. So hold on to him. Bo's going to get better. Bo's a good quarterback. I believe in that Denver offense isn't as bad as what people think, and their defense is even better than what people think. So we talked a little bit about yesterday. So keep in mind, I'm okay with holding him. If you can, there's always a trade thing, but just hold him for now and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cap for Life also said McMillan is trending up, and that would be for
the Bucks.
And let's take a look and see what he did.
So like with the Bucks, like it seems like Baker just wants to feed Mike Evans, which
I would too.
Like that,
I'd throw it to him too.
He came out in an interview. He's like, "Listen, if you single coverage Mike Evans, I'm throwing him the ball, no matter what." Jalen McMillan had 3 targets for 1 catch, 32 yards. It seems like he might just be that big play guy until hopefully they move Chris Godwin in. They play a lot of 11 personnel. I mean, be patient with him. I don't think he is a pickup in a lot of leagues. Just my opinion.
Dynasty, yes, but in redraft right now, probably not. But certainly, like what we're seeing, he's probably that number 3 wide receiver, rotating with Trey Palmer in that offense. Be my guess. So, KP Keelan Allen, 38% of his passes went his way. Will likely even be more with Rome out. He was Cable's first read on 35 of drop back passes. Sure, they try to make it simple. I just
93 yards. 93 yards. What's the math on that? 38% of 93 yards.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, 11 targets, 4 catches on 11 targets. A lot of targets. And I don't think Adunze had. Yeah, he only had 4 targets. So it's not like Adunze was commanding a ton of the share. Is it Tyler Scott? Yeah, Tyler Scott's a guy that is interesting. We'll see. And also Cole Kmet. We were a little bit down on Cole Kmet. So we'll see. I'm curious if they'll remember. Rookie quarterbacks like to get those tight ends. So I'm like, I don't know. This is kind of why we're sitting Caleb too, right? We're like, I don't know. Let's just hold up. Cap for Life said Palmer does have a knee issue. I did see that. He's been dealing with some knee concerns, but not enough. I'd roll him out there still. This Panthers defense is really, really bad. Like really bad.
One of these Chargers wide receivers is going to go off. If it's Quentin Johnson, I'm going to laugh so hard. I'm going to die.
That's true.
If he goes off.
It could happen.
I would laugh so hard.
Sit Evan Ingram too many pass catches in Jacksonville. You're right. He had a ton of volume, Usher, which we had brought up. It's more about. I mean, there are a lot of mouths to feed, but I'm not necessarily sold on the offense for Jacksonville right now.
The one thing that I think I'm wrong on draft season is Brian Thomas might be a guy. He looks good.
I have him in all my leagues.
He might be a dude.
You know how many targets he had? This is all about volume in Jacksonville, right? That's what it is. They're just not getting a ton of volume right now, nor anybody is, but in volume.
I'm gonna guess 6.
He had 4 targets for 4 catches for 47 yards and 1 touchdown. So uber productive.
The thing is, the route that he ran, he didn't look at that ball until like maybe it was 5 yards away from him. He was like that confident. He's like, I'm fine. Like I'm gonna get open. The ball's gonna be here. Like again, like there is a lot of pass catchers. Plus, you have Travis Etienne who catches the ball pretty well.
Yep. But they're not getting a lot of volume out of it, right? They're not getting tons of plays right now. They're struggling moving the ball. So, but I can see that sit Evan Ingram if you have better options for sure.
Yep. No, this is a great question. Great.
Yeah, this is great. I need to move Hollywood Brown out of my IR spot this week. Who do I drop for my bench? Hollywood, Gus, Hopkins, Lockett, Deontay Johnson, or Caleb Williams? QB is Dak. Which way are you going, Justin?
I'm dropping Caleb Williams. Like, I'm going to give Deontay probably 2 more weeks because I think he can be the one. It might be a terrible offense, but he can be the one. QBs you can probably stream. I guess it depends how big your league is. Dak's an awesome quarterback to have. I wholeheartedly believe that he's been one of my loves since we started the season.
I'm okay with Caleb. I'm probably dropping Hopkins though for me. It looks like you've got good wide receivers there, just on your bench that are better than those. So Caleb's still an unknown. Give him a couple 2 or 3 weeks. If he's just terrible, then you may have to move on or just like bag it. But I think there's enough upside with Williams. I'd rather drop Hopkins. But that's just me.
Yeah.
These are all great questions. Would love to know how you guys did in your leagues this first week. Are you 1-0, 0-1? Let us know. KP says, do you guys like Deontay? So yes and no. I was all about him. He was getting all the reports. He was the guy. They were going to get him involved. I have him on quite a few of my teams. I did drop him. This is how unsure. I dropped him to get Jalen Wright. I picked up Jalen Wright because for a big swing, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't want a ton of shares of him, but I am frustrated by him already. I really, really thought this Panther offense would be better. What are your thoughts, Justin?
I still think he can be the one. Like, I just feel so bad for Bryce because he seems like such a good dude, and like he's gotten the short in the stick. Not to make any short jokes, like I'm way shorter than he is, but like I just want him to be successful. Like he seems like a great kid that works hard, and it's just not working out. Like again, let's wait 2 more weeks, see what's going on. I think if he's not right in like week 4, week 5, man, you might have to move on from him as an organization, which is really tough.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you had an opportunity to package his upside for a trade, I'd be good with that. You know, as a 2-for-1 type thing with again, hopefully he kind of has a 1 good game, he patch with something and do an upgrade. It's probably where he is right now.
Yeah.
So Justin, we have a Thursday, so we won't be live tomorrow, but Thursday night matchup tomorrow with Buffalo, Miami. Could be interesting. What are your expectations? I think the over-under is 48.5 points. Miami's favored by 2.5. But as far as the game goes, game script, what are your thoughts?
I think this game should be high scoring, like 28-24. That's high scoring right now. I think that's what it's gonna be. I'm super excited if Jalen Wright gets the start, just to see what he is. Like, do they have a 3-headed monster? Like, Josh Allen must watch TV. If you like, a lot of people in the Northwest don't get to watch a lot of Josh Allen. Thursday night football, you got nothing better to do. Go watch Josh Allen and watch him cook. He is so electrifying to watch. We get to see our boy Shakir play. I think it'll be a fun game to watch, especially division. Division games are always good.
Yep, I'm putting as many starters you can get in there. I'm putting them in. It's, the Miami usuals. With if HM plays, if he doesn't, Wright is definitely going in. Waddle, Tyreek, all those guys for sure. Tua would be fine in this game. You already mentioned Josh Allen. I'm really curious, and it's not so much this game, but if Cooks gets injured, I really want to
Oh, it's
see
your
Ray
guy.
Davis.
Ray
I
Davis.
love Ray Davis. If he gets an opportunity, man, he could be a league winner. He's just a really good back.
You want him to be something so bad.
I do. It's horrible, but you mentioned Shakir, and as far as the tight end stuff we talked about already.
Coleman, Kincaid, those are gonna be super fun to watch. A bunch of super relevant fantasy guys in this one.
Yeah, for sure. Get your guys out there. If you guys have any more questions, kick them out there. We'd love to answer them. Probably got another 15 minutes or so if people ask questions. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I know it just takes a second, but it does help out the channel a little bit. And again, we just like talking football. Whether you agree or disagree with us, it doesn't matter. But man, let's talk ball. KP tearing it up already. 4-0 in 2 leagues, median wins, survive the guillotine. Nice, that's always a big bonus. 4-1 in a Pick'em's pool. Thanks, Falcons. Sorry. As he hangs his head. Eagles W and Saquon debut was the cherry on top. Hey, you bring up a great point, KP, around Saquon. There was a lot of people that were like, round 2, mid-round 2. And, I mean, after game 1, he's a round 1 pick. So if you got him in early round 2, mid-round 2, as of right now, you look like a Mad Hatter, right? You look like a genius. So good job on your stuff, for sure.
He's going to finish as a top 5 running back. There's no excuse for him not to, especially with Christian McCaffrey with the Achilles. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Takes one big guy out of there.
That offensive line is so good.
They gave him the ball in the red zone, inside the 10. They said, "Here you go." So I mean, the tush push didn't look great. Maybe they're just like, we're gonna give Saquon the ball. I mean,
that's what I would have done.
Difference. So
that's what I would have done. So we talk about Saquon. So what were your thoughts on Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry, he started off that first drive like, okay, here we go, this is it, and then it just kind of went away. Are they going to just ease him into what we're doing? I don't know. Derrick Henry's interesting.
It's hard because Harbaugh came out and said, "Hey, if you expected for us to give Derrick Henry the ball 30 times, like that's not going to happen." So I think that killed a lot of fantasy footballers' hearts. Like they're like, "Crap, that's what we expected." Justice Hill got a ton of run. I think when Keaton Mitchell comes back, he's going to get some run. Like, I don't think this is going to be a 90-10, an 80-20. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be 60-40. In a lot of passing situations, Justice Hill was out there, and he was doing well.
Yeah, he did. And I don't know if it was game scripted that way.
No.
It's tough to keep up with a KC offense, right? It feels like either you got to stop that offense or you better have a high-powered offense to keep up. But man, the initial drive I thought was really, really good by the Ravens. I'm like, oh, there you go. And I thought maybe their defense would keep KC in check, but they came out playing like they were mid-season form. They just looked good. So
yeah, it seemed like Lamar was like forcing the issue of running the ball. I don't remember how he carries yet. It's like 16 for like 122 or something like that. Like,
yeah, he had way more running for his life.
Running the ball. Like, he's like, I'm going to force us to win this game. I mean, they were close. They were probably half an inch to winning that game, which tough one to lose. For sure.
Defenses, real quick, streaming defenses that you would, that we could probably talk about. One of the teams I'm interested in is the Colts against Green Bay without Jordan Love. I think that's an easy one to plug and play for sure.
Huge one.
If for some reason the Chargers are not available. Right, but I think that's a good one.
The Chargers should be available in most of your guys' leagues. The top 5 rated defenses probably won't be. The Colts should be. Like, that's a really good pickup if you go with them. Texans might be. That's a decent matchup as well.
Yeah, it's true. Well, shoot, Justin, I don't have a whole lot more that I can think of. But, man, unless you guys have any more questions, you got decisions you want to try to make or put into like a shout out or something, and let us know. We'll help you out. Pretty soon we'll be getting into trade markets. I know there's lots of people talking lots of trades right now for sure. Tons of trades. Just be patient. We'll cover them, but be patient. I cannot tell you how many years I've struggled that I wanted to trade somebody or drop somebody so quickly that it turned around and burnt me later. And I've learned to say I need to wait till after week 3 on the trade stuff, unless it's just an obvious one. But KP's got another question here. This is good. I got him in a $200 auction. CD Lamb, 70, and Saquon 52. I highly recommend auction drafts. They take forever, but they're fun. Auction drafts are a different breed for sure, and they're fun. If you've never done one, go practice it first. Go to one of the big ones, either Yahoo, ESPN, practice doing it. You're right, KP, they do take a long time, but they are a lot of fun. And they're great to do because you can manipulate the draft a little bit versus the old snake. So go try one.
Everybody's available too. That's the nice part of the draft. Everybody's available on the board.
For sure. Oh, Mega Brick's here. Good to see you, Mega Brick. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is a really good question. Purdy or Goff, Justin?
Yeah, just looking at who they're playing. Jared Goff is playing at home in a dome against Tampa. Then Brock Purdy's playing against Minnesota. Again, I think San Francisco is just going to run the crap out of the ball. Like, I just think whoever's back up there, that's going to have a good game. So I'd probably start Jared Goff. Anytime Jared Goff's in the dome at home, I'm probably going to start him. He's just super good. Again, week 1 was weird. I'm gonna put my faith in Jared Goff there.
Yeah, it's really close. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but I think with the addition to JMO and spreading that ball around and getting it out, I like Goff's upside a little bit more in this game. I think it might be more of a shootout with Detroit playing Tampa Bay because that Tampa Bay offense looked good, right? I mean, Detroit's defense is really good, but Tampa Bay's offense looked pretty good. Baker threw, 3 touchdowns? So yep. You never know. But, yeah, I'd love to see a shootout. That's a great question, though. Goff for me. Who are you leaning? I'm just Mega Brick. Who are you leaning towards? Just curious. We'll see if they answer. But and that when is that game? Is that that's an early game? Okay. Fun stuff, guys. There's something I was going to ask you, Justin. I can't remember. I have Goff starting. Last week burnt me.
I think last week burnt a lot of people. Last week burnt a lot.
Last week. Yeah, last week was rough for everybody. Don't let anybody fool you. Some of the worst teams that I saw drafted won their first rounds a lot. Just like I don't like that team at all. They won. I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
that's not going to
Goff finished as the quarterback 18 last week, so that's tough.
Yeah, had Goff starting last week. He burnt me, and then had the Goff on state. Yeah, that's tough. Because neither one did. That's rough. That's rough. Looking for a big bounce back from St. Brown for sure this week. For sure. But well, cool. I guess Justin will wrap it up for tonight. But hey, guys, we're going to be back next week. Thanks for hanging with us. Man, get this out to your friends, your family. We love having it. We love answering questions. It's just a lot of fun. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn on the notifications. We go live once a week, sometimes twice a week, and just love to talk ball. Want you to win. We want you to have the bragging rights in your league. So,
yes, sir.
Any final words, Justin? Anything on your end?
Man, if the Chargers do me wrong, I'm gonna be really upset because I picked a lot of those guys to do well. So I'm on that Chargers bandwagon this week.
Yeah, and I really pay close attention to what's going on this week. I'm gonna leave you with this. Week 1's behind us. Week 2, we should see an improvement in some areas, right? Pay close attention. You're going to find some diamonds in the rough this week and next week for sure. So stay tuned in. We're going to try to help you find those diamonds too. Yes, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging with us. We will see you guys next week. Until then, go win your leagues, man. Later.